Adelaide is surrounded by wine-growing regions. One of the oldest is the Barossa Valley. That's where we're headed. Ordinarily, it takes 90 minutes by road to navigate the suburbs of Adelaide and enter the flat bottomlands of the Barossa Valley. It took us a little longer due to a traffic accident, but here we are at the Louise, in the heart of the Barossa Valley. It's a beautiful property. It's surrounded by vineyards. We're dining at the appropriately named Appalachian Restaurant. From starter to dessert, the plates are works of art and a pleasure to the palate. We stagger back to our room and fall into bed. Breakfast is served in our room. How very decadent. It's a beautiful day and we're ready to explore. Our first winery is Penfolds, established in 1844. Our host shows us to the wine lab. Our task is to blend the perfect GSM, that's Grenache, Shiraz, and Mataro, a classic blend that originated in the Rhone Valley of France. Sherry takes to the task. She hasn't had this much fun since Organic Chem Lab. And here it is, the best blend. And the almost as good. We wrap up our visit to Penfolds in the tasting room, or as they say here, the cellar door. From a hill above the valley, we get a panoramic view. This area was first settled by Germans from Silesia. They brought with them knowledge of grape growing and winemaking. Our next stop is Henschke Cellars, founded by Johann Henschke, who fled Silesia in 1841. Henschke is best known for one of Australia's cult wines, Hill of Grace Shiraz. The 2014 crush is just starting with these Pinot Noir grapes. This is the famous Hill of Grace block, planted in the 1860s. The name comes from the Gnadenberg Church, which translates to Hill of Grace. With all this wine tasting, we've worked up an appetite for lunch. We're stopping at the Artisans of Barossa. Chef Mark McNamara has designed a lunch for us with wine pairings. The chef is also doing a cooking demonstration with a little help from Bill.
Okay.
Who doesn't love air supply though, right? Not me.
Our next stop is another pioneer winery, Seppeltsfield. It was founded by Joseph Seppelt in 1851, and many of the buildings are over 100 years old. The 2014 crush is well underway. The fermenting tanks are full. To ensure complete fermentation, the juice from the bottom is pumped over the cap of skins on the top. Seppeltsfield still maintains a cooperage to repair barrels and to entertain the tourists. Now to the trophy cellar. This is how they kept records well before computers. Seppeltsfield is famous for their tawny port, and that's what we're tasting. The 10-year-old, the 15-year-old, and the 21-year-old, and a liqueur-style port. All around us, port is aging. Now to the barrel room for a special treat. First, we're tasting our birth year. Sherry's 48 was better than my 49 vintage. Now it's on to taste 100-year-old port. This is the only place in the world where that's possible. We wrap up the day with dinner at Hutton Vale. We're met by the resident dogs. It's a 2,000-acre working farm, growing fruit, vegetables, sheep, cattle, and grapes. It's been in the Angus family since 1843. Buildings and grounds are filled with collections of farm implements and household items, and art made from found objects. John and Jan Angus explain that they are the 6th generation to steward Hutton Vale. With wine glass in hand, we follow the wonderful smells to the kitchen. The focaccia is just out of the old wood-fired baker's oven. The collections seem to flow everywhere. Even the sunsets take on a purple glow here in wine country. Dinner's ready, and we find the dining hall. The tables are set with flowers from the garden and Hutton Vale wines. Dinner is Hutton Vale lamb prepared 3 different ways, and vegetables from the garden. Then back to the Louise, big bags out by 10:30. We get an early start on the day and watch the sun rise as we drive back to Adelaide.